All right, folks, welcome back to episode 66 of Kings of Opinion. We got the usual suspects here, Wander and Ernie. Guys, say hello.
Hello. Happy trade deadline day.
That's right. It's MLB trade deadline, and I'm going to automatically assume that by the time this show is over, we'll know all the trades that came in, because right around 6:01, there's always a flurry of deals that come in last minute. As of right now, I'm not too excited about what the Yankees have done, really, to be honest with you, besides the Jazz Chisholm. Like, that seems like it worked out so far. He's gotten off to a nice little good start. Played some good third base the other day because apparently Torres says he can't play third base. Which,
yeah, I heard that yesterday watching the game.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, but I found it interesting with Girardi's comments.
What was Girardi's comment?
After they mentioned that, and Girardi pretty much said, you know, listen, if you have a guy who doesn't feel comfortable playing a position, then you should not put him there, because one, it's probably not going to work out, and the guy's just not going to be happy.
Yeah.
So I was a little surprised to hear that opinion from him.
It makes you wonder if it was like discussed prior to them acquiring him.
Oh,
Because it's like once what's his name's back, there's no room for him in the outfield. You know,
yeah. Oh, you talking about
Giancarlo.
yeah, but he hasn't played the outfield all year. I really wouldn't be worried. That just clogs up the DH spot.
Well, I mean, when
I'm saying,
and then when the
Chisholm.
Martian comes back, right, he's going to be playing the outfield.
That's what I was more. That's how I thought he was talking about. I was more worried about
And I
him.
think that's why they were. I guess it seems like they were not having problems fielding offers for Verdugo, which I was surprised to hear just now on the radio.
Oh, you heard it on the way here? I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, they said that not that they were shopping him, but they would have listened to offers, I guess. They mentioned him and Glaber, but obviously nobody's gonna.
No one's gonna take Glaber. You'd almost have to give him away for free.
Yeah, because they were talking about who they were just talking about, some pitcher that if they because they were talking about Spencer Jones. I guess because a lot of these later trades that have gone on, these guys have been getting big hauls for them.
It's been like that all day, actually.
Yeah.
People are getting big hauls for like relievers and like bottom of the rotation pitchers, and that's pretty much why the Yankees and the Mets aren't making like big splashes on anybody, because it's just too much.
Yeah, like I heard the Padres gave up a lot for Tom Scott.
They gave up the 2 and their 4 best prospect.
Wow.
Yeah, just for like a closer. But, you know, I was going to field this question. I guess we'll just jump into it. Like, there's 2 sides of the fence to this, right? Some people land on one side where it's like, you know, trade these prospects. Who cares? You don't know if they're ever going to be good. Get, you know, bona fide MLB talent. And then there's, you know, save these guys because they're going to be able to help your club, you know, in like a year or 2 or whatever. And I normally, it depends really for me of who the prospect is. And who you're getting in return. So like the Juan Soto deal, right? Did we give up a lot for that? Yeah, I mean, we gave up a starting, you know, middle of the road starting pitcher in King. I don't even know. He was doing good in the beginning. I don't know. I haven't followed him in like a month or 2, so I don't know how good he is now. But, you know, at the end of the day, if you want a blockbuster trade, then yeah, you're going to have to give up those guys, right?
Right.
But if you're going to go after a reliever and this, that, I'm not touching my top 5, maybe my top 10 prospects, but then you could have your fill with anybody else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they gave up, 2 for this lighter guy? They gave up 2, I think, top 20 prospects, right? But I've heard some good things about him, so just quickly reading up on it. They say he's been playing pretty well.
Yeah?
I guess he was on the IL at some point this season, and they said since he's been back, he's been like lights out. He's got like a ton of strikeouts.
Yeah, he's got like 53 strikeouts in like 30-something innings. I think it was like 36 innings. So I guess we'll see when he comes over how good he's going to be. I mean, I don't mind the 2 moves. I just thought there'd be more. Like, there's more out there to get. I don't know what they're really looking for. I guess no one, like, we need a third baseman, a second baseman, maybe another reliever. So maybe they'll sneak in a trade for another reliever, because at this point I don't think that's pretty much all you're gonna get, because a lot of the other guys like went to other teams already in trades. Like, I don't know, the Giants don't seem like they're gonna trade Chapman or Snell. I wasn't even really looking for Snell. You know who Snell would be great for? The Mets, because he's got a 2-year contract. I think he's $30 million a year, but he could opt out after this year or something like that. So, like, if he does good and opts out, the Mets are off the hook. If he has a bad or mediocre second half, even though his last 2 starts are really good, the Mets could snag him, make their rotation better, and they have all the money in the world. They could have a Snell for 2 years, $30 million each year. Like, they could afford that, no big deal. So he'd be a good fit for them, which is why I'm surprised they're not going out of their way to get him, because if the Giants are trying to shed money for the upcoming free agents next year, I would think you wouldn't have to give up much. Like, you'd have to give up a couple prospects, maybe one top 10, maybe a top 10 and another guy from the 11 to 20 range, or another 2 guys from there. I don't think that's so bad. Like, you gotta use these guys as like trade pieces anyway. You don't know if they're gonna pan out to anything.
Yeah. Toronto didn't sell off on anybody, huh?
They did. They got rid of a few guys.
Well, none of the big names.
No, they're keeping the big names, I think, because I think they want to keep that core together, which makes me think that they're gonna sign Guerrero.
Meanwhile, the Dodgers keep getting more players.
They're all in.
And where did Rosarena go?
To the Mariners. Mariners. So, and the Rays are dumping everybody, too.
What else is new?
I know, it's crazy. But they're not even, they're playing bad this year for them. They're not terrible. I forget what their record is right now. But
they just don't ever want to have a payroll. That's
right. So, but they're weird, though, because they get rid of all these guys and they go on to have probably usually good careers somewhere else, and then they just replace them from the farm system. Like, if I was the Yankees and or even the Mets, but I think the Mets have a better minor league system than the Yankees, to be fair. I don't really like whoever's running the minor league system down there. Like, I know it's overall Brian Cashman, I guess, technically, but, like, there's got to be someone that's, like, the president of minor league whatever, like, whatever you call him, that runs the entire minor league system and, like, player development and all that nonsense. Like, I'd try to go to Tampa and get whoever's working down there, because they do it every year and they stay competitive.
Yeah.
It's strange to me. Like, I don't understand how they could just do that. If they would have kept even half their guys, they'd be a division leader almost every year, and with no money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree with Ernie, though. That was a solid move by the Dodgers, getting Kopech and Tommy Edman, who could pretty much play every position in the field.
And then who's the other guy they just showed that they got from Tampa? Ahmed Rosario.
They got him too.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So it makes me wonder, does the Dodgers have a lot of guys hurt or something? Why are they getting so many guys on just to sit on the bench?
I guess it's because they got all that room on their payroll since everybody's contract is deferred.
I still can't believe that. But, I guess they got all sorts of money, so that it won't hurt them in the long run. Oh, so the Padres gave up 4 players for Tanner Scott, but the most notable are the 2 and 4 spots.
Yeah, they're talking about how these late moves are costing these teams a lot.
Yeah, I maybe the price is just so high. Like, there's, it's funny too. There's only so many bad teams that aren't really in the mix.
Right.
So those mediocre teams are trying to get themselves in the best position just to make the playoffs. You could kind of have that kind of high ceiling.
Yeah.
Because it's only like a handful of teams. You got the Rays, the White Sox. Who else? The A's. I'm sure there's a couple others in the National League, but you get my point. It's not like it used to be where there's like already 15 teams out of it.
And
You
as
know?
you get to the end, some of these guys might get desperate, feel like they have to do something, and they'll overpay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. This has been a very, very busy deadline today, for sure. That's why I'm a little disappointed in both the Yankees and the Mets that they're just doing these little, like, I don't know, safe deals. You know what I mean? Especially the Yankees. Like, if you have Juan Soto for only this year, throw the kitchen sink at people at this point right now.
Well, I mean, so is what they're doing today an indication that they are not planning on letting him go after this year?
It could be either way, right? I don't know. That's a good question. You know, because I guess if you're not going all in, I guess you could be saying we're signing Soto and we have plenty more years to figure this out. Let's not ruin our farm system and then be stuck 3 years from now with nobody in our system.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, let's see. I mean, they made a couple of moves, so it's not like they didn't do anything.
That's true. That's very true.
So let's see. Well, let's see what happens in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm
I'd
kind.
like to see them get David Robinson back.
I would like that too. Where is he? The Rangers right now? Is he on the
No.
Texas Rangers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 'cause he
And
got
they're- but they're saying that the Rangers made some moves, so
Yeah.
they're probably not selling at this point.
Yeah, look at all these guys. They got this guy Trevor Rogers, the Orioles from the Marlins.
And that's another one that I heard the Orioles gave up a ton for him. I just heard on the radio, they said the Orioles gave up a ton for that guy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's wild. This trade deadline is kind of crazy right now. Everyone's beefing up. Like, why couldn't we have gotten Josh Bell from the Marlins? Like, I think I said it last week. I would have went and got Chisholm and Tanner Scott from the Marlins right away. So once you knew they only got Chisholm, I was kind of disappointed a little bit because it would have solved two needs right there out the gate. You get a closer and you get a guy that could play the infield and the outfield. God forbid anything happens. You know what I mean? And you know he's going to, and I would start as of right now Chisholm over Torres. Put him on the bench. I'd play everyone else before him. He'd be the last one. Even last night I'm watching the game. The Yankees are winning. It's like one out in the bottom of the ninth. I think it was like first and second. I think it was a play to Chisholm. He throws a laser to Torres and he like double clutch it and the guy's safe at first. Like, these are simple little things. Like, you just take your time. It's the end of the game. The guy's jogging down to first. You're up 14-3 or 4 was it at the time? Or something like that. It might have been 3. It might have been a run might have scored after that or on that play. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But like, you can't have that in the playoffs. So what are you doing? Like, at some point in the next few weeks, you need to set your lineup and your defensive positions for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, come at end of August, beginning of September, guys need reps in their positions because they need to be super sharp defensively in October. And I'll be honest with you, I'd rather have DJ LeMahieu out there
Well,
not hitting.
you just took the words out of my mouth, right? Because it seems like he's not playing right anymore at this point. But you know, keep him on the bench for that exact reason, like you just said. At least you know he can pretty much play every position in the infield, and you know his defense is good. So.
But he needs reps too. You can't put him in cold. Like,
Yeah,
you know, you got to get him going. And like I said, I don't care if he goes 0 for 100 the rest of the season, however many at bats he gets. Like, at least you know his defense is strong.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, he'll get a hit here and there. You know, he also makes contact more than some of these other guys. So, you know, with Chisholm, I'd put him at second base, either Cabrera or DJ at third, and see what you got, and sit Torres, because what you know, they're all hitting around the same. What does it matter?
Yeah, I mean, he's hitting better than DJ.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's hitting better than DJ, but the defense is what's gonna, you know, keep you. You can't have that kind of play in the playoffs unless you're winning 14-4.
Yeah.
And in a close game like that, that's how everything unravels. Just look what happened to what was his name? Holmes not too long ago. Volpe made an error and Verdugo made an error, lost the game. And it wasn't even like he didn't pitch great either. He walked 2 guys, but you make that play at short, the game's over.
Yeah, he's the one that scares me.
Yeah, I mean,
Come playoff time, you know, do we really want them closing games? But let's see. Let's give it a chance. They've been looking good these last few days. So
they have
hopefully, between these couple of trades and these couple of wins, things are on the upslope, and they can rip off a nice little stretch like they did at the start of the season.
Yeah, I don't even care if it's as good as the start of the season.
Right.
Let's see like a nice 5-6 game win streak. You could lose a game, go win another couple of games here. Just stay hot.
Just start
Playing
winning
better.
the series again.
Yeah, just start playing better. That's it. And the last couple of games, like the Boston series, they could have swept Boston if not for, blowing the game Friday night.
Right.
Which would have been nice to do, but
That was it wasn't looking good after Friday night.
no.
But then they definitely came back strong.
Yeah, on
Close the
Saturday.
series.
Saturday was I'm watching Saturday's game, and it was back and forth.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I remember.
oh my jeez, I was.
Stroman was pitching, right?
Oh, and it was like 3-3 after the first.
Yeah,
then
it was like
oh.
it was like each team was going ahead by a run.
Yeah, it brought
like,
it brought me back to like the old Yankee Red Sox rivalries where they were just beating up on each other, and the games were 4 hours long, and you're like,
And then Judge broke it open.
Judge, man, he's crazy, dude. And just to show you how crazy he is, I mean, he's got 39 home runs this year with 99 RBIs, right? He still had more home runs at this point in the season in 2022 when he hit 62 home runs. And we think how crazy a season he's having this year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he might have more RBIs. No, he doesn't have more RBIs. At that point, he was like one shy or something like that of RBIs. He had 94 at this point, and when I did the check, and then at that point he had 93. Like this is the beginning of the Red Sox series.
Oh, okay.
So he had 37 home runs this year, and 43 at this point in 2023.
Oh, really?
2022, yeah, crazy. So we think how amazing he's doing this year. He was even more amazing then, but I guess it just didn't look like that because we were so worried about the home run pace, of him getting 62 home runs. It was wild.
There looks like that's another trade going on.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore good. Eloy Jimenez.
Who's he getting? Who they getting?
Eloy Jimenez.
Oh,
They're on pace to lose 121 games this season.
the White Sox. Yeah,
White Sox.
Holy Jesus.
that's kind of crazy. Would that be a record?
I was just going to say, I don't ever remember.
Anyone losing that many games? 121. That means you would only win 41 games. That can't be. One of the expansion teams must have had to have lost around there.
I don't know.
That's wild.
That's a lot.
What are you gonna do? The Yankees did some nice work against Phillies, helping the Mets out yesterday.
Yeah, they a couple of guys had 2 home runs apiece, right?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, yeah. What is it? Judge had 2, and Jazz Chisholm had 2.
Who you called last week?
Yep, and he hit one with Aaron Judge's bat. His second home run, he used Aaron Judge's bat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I saw that today on Instagram or TikTok. He was holding his bat, and I saw an interview where he said I guess the Phillies put in like an infielder or a position player to pitch, so he just went up there and he's like, "Yo, can I use your bat?" And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead." And he used the bat and he hits a home run to right field. It's kind of funny.
So the record for most losses in the season was in 1899 by the Cleveland Spiders, who lost 134 games.
Jesus.
They had 20 wins and 134 losses.
And obviously, they were the Cleveland Spiders. Did they become the Cleveland Indians after that, or?
I would assume so.
Yeah. That's wild. 1899.
Wow.
You're not all right, Spider.
Oh, that must have been a miserable season. So, what do you think? How do you think about the Mets so far?
Well, disappointed over the weekend. They won the first 2 games. The first game against the Braves in dramatic fashion. Second game, they were hitting the ball. Sanger pitched great, but then, next thing you know, he's strained calf. It's crazy how things work. It's
Right.
excited to have him back, and now he's back on the shelf. And the injuries like that take a while.
Yeah, he's done for the
He's
season.
done for the season.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even know that, but it doesn't surprise me.
No, it's sad.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate. I think they won yesterday. They were scoring a lot of runs.
No, they did.
when I was watching.
They beat the balls off the Twins yesterday.
Yeah, but that's definitely a big blow. Losing Senga for the year.
Which I guess led to why they went to the A's and got that guy Blackburn.
Right.
Just in case, if anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the Mets are making a few
And
key moves
I'm
too.
sorry.
Yeah.
Too. I guess that was the other thing. Not only did they lose the last two games to split, but they couldn't score a run Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, when you win the first two games, and they were home, right? They're home.
Yeah.
And you're home, and you got the Braves on the ropes, and then you lose the next two games. That kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Like, you got to at least take 3 out of 4
Right.
after winning the first two. Like, that would be my mentality. So you're right, a little disappointing for the Mets this weekend, but then they rebounded, and I guess the Twins are the perfect. The Twins, are they playing in Minnesota, or are they
No, it's,
still
City.
okay? So the Twins hate New York, so I guess the Mets can beat on them just like the Yankees do. So this is a good series for them to come back and hopefully take a couple from the Twins and go from there. So we'll see what happens. I want to see one blockbuster trade at the end of the day right now. Can I just get one, something you weren't hearing?
Minutes away.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Are there any blockbuster trades to be had out there?
I don't know, but I want one. Give me something. Yes. That's what I was saying earlier too. We could have got Josh Bell from the Marlins too. We need a first baseman.
But do we need a first baseman?
Kind of
Are you gonna take Ben Rice out?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. You could put him on the bench for now. I know we got Rizzo coming back, and then what are you gonna do? But can you really count on Rizzo anymore either? This guy Josh Bell has 14 homers and 49 RBIs. In the Yankees lineup, you're batting 7th
Yeah, but
with
that guy,
power.
I'm assuming Bell's been playing all year. I mean, Ben Rice has got what, 7, 8 home runs already?
No, I don't think that many.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think. Maybe 6. But I just want I need professional hitters right now to go into the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Ben Rice can't be our first baseman going forward. We rushed him into this thing. He's been doing a decent job. It's not too bad of an option for me. But if you could upgrade at first or third, I would do that through trade. Because Josh Bell has been bounced around from team to team. He's like a nomad. Just help us out for the rest of the year. Hit some home runs. Play solid defense, and we're good to go. Get some key base hits.
I mean, he's only had 110 at-bats. He's got 7 home runs and 22 ribbies. I mean, he's not hitting for average, but still.
What's his average?
209.
Yeah.
What's Josh Bell's average?
I don't know. Look it up.
And what's he got, 40 RBIs all season?
49 and
Right.
14.
So this guy's got half the stats in 110 at-bats.
What's his batting average? Josh Bell. That's what I want to know. Before I get any further into this. But either way, you tell me you couldn't just went shopping at the Marlins. I get all 3 of those guys. Jazz, Tanner, and Josh. What do you guys want? You know what I mean? That's what I want. That's what I wanted to see. Just go to one team shop, get 3 guys back, call it a successful trade deadline. See you later. Then if you wanted, you could went and got Mark Leiter Jr. and from the Cubbies. I would
He's batting 239 in 400 at-bats.
Okay, yeah, all right. You win this round. That's fine. He's only batting 30 points higher.
And he's got double the home runs and RBIs in 3 times the at-bats.
Yeah, which I guess if you would equate that, Ben Rice would be a monster.
Right.
He would just be hitting 200. That's the only thing we'd hate about it. I don't know. I just need guys that hit for average. Can we go back to guys hitting for average? I was watching some weird. It was
Those days are over, bro.
not really. Look at Aaron Judge and Soto.
But that's what I'm saying. Aaron Judge has got a chance to be a Triple Crown winner, and he's batting .315.
I know, but still. I wish my iPad was up. I'd look up the averages and who's leading.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, there's somebody that's batting like 340 out there in the AL right now. I forget who. I was looking it up a week ago. But he was right. I need a couple, I need a couple guys in the lineup that can hit. Okay?
Oh, the Orioles got Rogers.
Yeah.
I guess he fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the guy that they're talking about that they gave up a ton for him.
I see.
Guardians, everyone's making a ton of moves. Come on, give me one big Brian Cashman type trade.
Yeah, I don't think there's
You know?
anything out there this year.
Give me a good infielder and a starting pitcher or a big time closer. You know, get rid of who cares about Spencer Jones? I saw him play in person. I wasn't impressed.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, where do you stand on that fence? So you don't want to give up your top prospects from Major League talent, then I'm assuming.
Not for a reliever that's going to be with you for a third of a season.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying big time trade. Let's get it going.
Big time trade like a Soto that you potentially have a superstar for the next 10 years if you re-sign him. Then yeah, you give up the house for him. But for a middle of the road reliever, because
A lot of these guys are middle of the road.
Right,
Yeah.
facts are facts. We're not talking about any studs that we're talking about here today. So I don't know about that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know. There's only 5 minutes left. This is crazy. I don't even know who the Yankees would target at this point. I think we've seen it all. I think it's over.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would honestly be looking for is a guy who could close games.
Yeah, true that,
I
man.
just don't. I don't know how confident you could be going into the playoffs and needing Clay Holmes to close out games for you. And don't forget, the Yankees have guys that are due to come back soon too, right? So it's
Yeah, I mean, that's
kind of like making moves without making moves.
yeah, that's what everyone always says, and I kind of agree with it too. But these guys need to get here. You need a full roster then now because you need to get these guys playing and getting reps and all this other stuff. Where's Clark Schmidt been?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need him back, and
What are they saying about this guy, Flaherty?
he's supposed to be traded, but he hasn't gone nowhere yet.
So if they're asking, if these guys are getting a ton for these relievers, can you imagine what Detroit's asking for this guy?
Yeah, probably a
'Cause
fucking
he's actually
boatload.
had a good year, right?
Yeah, he's having a good year. Detroit isn't having really a bad year. They're not terrible, you know.
Even more reason why they can ask for the haul,
Right, because you could keep him. It's not a big deal, and just play it out. But this, I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna see. We'll know by 6:01 if any other deals come in because they always get it. They always give it a couple minutes, and then you see a couple trades pop in. So we'll definitely see something in the next few minutes for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. At least you got someone. You know what? The Yankees bullpen's so banged up too. That's why they actually don't have the greatest bullpen this year because they lost a lot of guys between last year and this year.
Yeah.
They lost Loizaga, Efros, Trevino. All those guys are hurt. I think one of them's supposed to be coming back, but
And
there
they
was
just traded one of their guys today, right?
yeah.
Ferguson?
Yeah, was it Craig Ferguson or Ian Ferguson? Something like that. Yeah, they traded him but for nobody.
Yeah.
So, I guess just to trade for a roster spot when they got.
No,
lineup.
they got somebody for him.
What did they get? Because when I was listening to the radio, it just said they traded him away. It didn't say for what. You happy with all the Mets trades so far?
I mean, Blackburn, I don't really know too much about. I guess he's a back end of the rotation type of guy. Winker, I mean, I had him in fantasy last year, I guess. and he didn't like he didn't really. Maybe he was slumping when I had him, but he didn't really seem all that great. But I guess it's a lefty bat off the bench.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
That's okay.
They traded Caleb Ferguson to the Astros, and they'll receive
A box of donuts.
no.
I do like the Stanek move though.
So like none of the moves are overly sexy for either ball club, but they're probably essential moves to be made for depth and all this other stuff.
Economical,
Yeah. Like nothing's gonna blow you away yet, but you know, we'll see how it all works out.
It says here prospect to be named later and an international signing bonus space.
Wow. I'm actually surprised that the Yankees even traded with the Astros.
I found that a little surprising too.
Right. Like why would you give one of your bullpen guys to a team that you cannot beat? I mean, they beat them this year, pretty bad. But you know, in the playoffs, I'm talking about, like where it really matters. Oh, Yankees post deadline buzz. What buzz? It's gonna be over in 50 seconds. It's crazy. Oh, that's a bigger deal too. Cole being scratched tonight. So who's pitching in his place?
What's his name? Is it Warren? It's he's making his major league debut.
Really? Oh boy. That's gonna be rough. Hopefully not too rough. Hopefully he does well. Maybe it'll be like Poteet when he came up. He had a good couple starts before he got hurt. But yeah, what's this with this whole body fatigue? Like,
I mean, don't forget, he's still basically in the spring training.
yeah, I get it, but you know, you should be kind of fresh unless like all that rehabbing takes a lot out of you too. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe I don't know. It's a little tough. Yankees, hopefully he'll be all right. He did say he made a couple statements that his start is kind of really just like pushed back a couple days. So like he's not going on the IL. He's looking to. I think he's not going to start either one of these games. Like not obviously not tonight, but not tomorrow. But he might start a game on the weekend, something like that. I guess he just needs a couple extra days rest. But listen, after his last start against the Mets, like maybe it's not a bad idea to get some rest and retinker with what he's pitching and what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, I just really want to beat the Phillies. Like I don't want to lose tonight's game. I want to beat the balls off them again tonight. I want to help our little brothers out in Queens. You know.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, because the Mets are only 9 games back there. So they can make a push for the division as well. We've seen it happen.
Yeah, and how did that happen? That they're 8.5 games back of Atlanta. Weren't they just like a week ago a game behind Atlanta? Or something?
No, it's not Atlanta.
Philly.
They're Phillies.
Oh, right, the Phillies. Oh, my
Yeah.
bad, my bad.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all
Right,
good.
they had caught Atlanta. Right.
They caught it and surpassed Atlanta, and then when Atlanta beat them, now they're back. I think
It's like around the game.
a game, something like that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, has anyone been actually watching the Olympics?
I enjoy it, but I haven't had a chance to watch. I see the women's gymnastics team on gold today, and it looks like I don't know. I was gonna say it looked like Italy.
Was in there too.
Yeah.
I watched the USA game Sunday. We played Serbia.
Oh, the basketball game.
Yeah, Jokic's team.
Right.
So yeah, they won pretty easily. And then I watched some kind of men's swimming thing that the U.S. won gold in as well.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
That's what I love watching more than anything is the swimming.
Really?
Oh, Italy did win the silver.
Oh, that's
wow,
good.
they weren't even that far behind.
No?
Nice. USA, Italy won too.
There you
Nothing
go.
wrong with that.
Nope, nothing at all. At least not to us. Did you see happen to see the opening, what is it, the ceremonies?
I didn't. The only part that I saw was the very end where Celine Dion sang.
All right.
That's it.
I didn't watch it all, but apparently there were transgenders bringing out like the candles or flags or whatever they were doing. I was like, what's going on in France, dude?
Not surprised.
Yeah, but whatever.
So we're living today, my friend.
Yeah, apparently. Anyway, let's move it along. Unless we get any other trades, that we're done with the baseball talk, I think, for today. I'm just really proud of both New York teams. Let's just keep it going. We got still half the summer left. A lot of baseball to be played. I'm excited about it.
And football right around the corner.
So
Yeah, first game Thursday, right?
that's the Hall of Fame game. And then
preseason.
right, and then we don't have another game, I think, till 2 weeks after that.
Okay.
This is like the first
Who's
game.
playing in the Hall of Fame game?
No idea. I don't want to really give up on baseball yet, so I'm not going to pay attention to football.
I don't blame you.
You know? So we'll see. But yeah, football's right around the corner. And then instead of going golfing on Sundays, we'll be going to Fallon's and watching football all day.
Yeah. Trading one sport for another.
Yeah.
Trading
Which is-
golfing for a drink.
Right. It's You're right. You're 100% right. Even though you could kind of do both, but it'd be tough. Like, I don't know if I would be able to do it.
Well, at least the first couple of months of this season, we should, maybe if you're, can make some adjustments.
Go ahead, say what you got to say, Ernie.
We could do
I was going to
some-
say it myself. Just say it. Say it. Don't beat around the bush.
We could do some 8 a.m. golfing.
There you
and then
go.
Straight to the bar. and watch
There you
the
go.
football
There you
games.
go.
There you go.
There you go.
Nice
But
little
I would have to
Nice
change.
little
So
Sunday.
exactly. So it'd have to be Douglaston, the farthest casino.
Why? You could just bring your change of clothes in the car.
No, because
Change
you
your car.
gotta like, you might still be hot in September. Might have to come home for a quick shower, change, then hit Fallon's right away. Like a quick 10-minute drop in, drop out. What I was kind of thinking is, because I don't even know if I could be able to do that, is, maybe we move golf to like Saturday, and then we do golf and then football on Sundays, right? It really all depends on the schedule because it's going to be wacky in September anyway with
Yeah.
work, so it's going to be rough. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I've been waiting at least 3 days to talk to you guys, and I'm actually really excited about talking about this movie because I think it's the first time we all saw it an opening weekend movie, not together, but like different days, but we all get to talk
you
about it
did
at the
as
same
well,
time.
Wander?
Yeah.
So
Oh.
Sunday, yeah.
So I'm not going to start it off. I want to hear each of your individual days or what led up to it, and whatever, if you want to say who you went with or whatever.
Well,
you
obviously my story is a little strange and out of the norm.
out of character.
Yeah, because normally I wouldn't have worried about going to the movies to see it, but Paul had texted Ryan. He had texted us on Saturday, I believe it was, right? No, Friday.
Friday.
Friday afternoon saying, enjoy the movie. And Ryan's like, thanks, but I'm not going till tomorrow. And for some strange reason, I don't know why, but I had texted back saying, oh, Paul, let's go see it tonight. Unfortunately, the only showing that was available was 1 a.m. Oh, boy.
You went to the 1 a.m. movie?
Yeah.
Where? Fresh Meadows?
No, at Roosevelt Field.
They have a movie that late? Wow.
Yeah, man.
It's a
1
Friday,
a.m.
Friday night.
What'd you do? Take a
Well,
nap? before?
luckily, my friend Pugs invited me over to watch the Yankee game.
Okay.
So that took up a good
That-
4
that took a
hours.
few hours, yeah. Thank God they were playing the Red Sox.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, I would have bet my house that if you were going to a movie at 1 o'clock, one of two things was going to happen. One, you would never make it to the movies because you'd fall asleep, or two, you'd go and watch the movie and you'd be out cold before the 2 o'clock hour.
I gotta say, I'm impressed.
Yeah,
They
so
even
listen,
said yes to go
right.
to 1 a.m.
Honestly, if I hadn't come here to watch the Yankee game, I definitely would have never made it. And then, surprisingly, I mean, Paul was great. He was wide awake the whole time. I'm sure that bastard took a nap at some point, though.
Yeah.
I'm not getting away from that, but
He probably took a nap from like 9 to 11 or 12
yeah,
even.
yeah. He said he was up the whole time taking care of his foot. I call bullshit on that.
Yeah, and I call bullshit on that too.
But,
Paul's a habitual shady bastard.
I had a couple of instances there where I was about to
Nodding.
lose it, but then I held it together and I made it through.
Okay. How'd you like the movie?
I liked it. It was entertaining. It was funny.
Very funny, yeah.
A lot of funny scenes, so it was good.
Was it a packed theater at 1 a.m.?
It wasn't like jam packed, but
But packed
it was
Like 60%, 70% full?
yeah, definitely.
That's for one.
And it was in their big theater too. So
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's for 1 o'clock. That's pretty damn good.
yeah,
And made a ton of money too.
Yeah, broke a record, I think.
It broke a record. It broke a few records for R-rated movies. So top R-rated movie in the country over the weekend, all time.
really.
Overseas all time R-rated movie of a few other ones. It didn't beat it. It was projected to make 170 million the first opening weekend. It made 205, which is just below, for Marvel movies at least, Infinity War. Because I think Infinity War made like, I want to say like 215-ish or something, 220.
Okay. All right.
And then Endgame made like, I think it was like 250
The
or something.
Dodgers got Jack Flaherty.
Oh my God.
What the frig?
Rich get richer.
Jesus. How many pitchers do they need? Like, what's happening?
And the best pitcher of them all. They got 5 guys.
Oh, they got Kevin Kiermaier too from the Blue Jays?
Yeah.
That slipped me too. I didn't even notice that.
That was towards the end.
Holy crap. Why did they need so many guys? It's like they needed 2 starting pitchers. Well, Kopech is a reliever, but they needed a starting pitcher and 2 infielders. And basically, Tommy Edman is an outfielder too.
This is the thing, though, man. Like, if you're the Braves, or you're the, Yankees or the Orioles, how do you let the Dodgers get?
All these guys.
And the best pitcher, probably the best player that was available, right? Flaherty, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I would say so. Him or Scooble, right?
Yeah, so it looks like the Yankees got nobody else. Just those 2 guys.
Oh my God.
Ugh, man, that's terrible. Anyway, back to Deadpool and Wolverine. Wanda, what about you?
Oh yeah, so I saw it Sunday at Westbury Stadium.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I like a lot of the callbacks and stuff. A lot of cameos. Yeah, it was funny, violent. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So I took my parents to go see it on Saturday afternoon. Great movie for me. My dad and my mom liked it. My dad thought it was just so much cursing. That's the only negative. But like, I guess like when you bring in Hugh Jackman for Wolverine, and basically the only movie he really cursed on was Logan. Like, you're gonna have 2 people cursing the whole movie. Like, there's gonna be a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, and I didn't mind it. That's just a thing for my dad.
Right.
I loved like the movie. Finally, Marvel did a movie right, which they've been failing a lot, like the TV shows and movies recently. So hopefully this puts them back on the map, and they could realize that, listen, if you don't pay attention to certain things and just do a comic book movie to do a comic book movie, you're gonna make a ton of money. You know what I mean? And if you do it right. That's what this movie was. I loved all the cameos. Did you notice, either both of you, what was it, Calverine? Was Henry Cavill? They called him Calverine.
Yes.
So, like, this is what I was thinking in that moment, like, because you saw him in 2 separate parts.
Mm-hmm.
You first see him from behind, and he starts to turn, and then he fades out to another, going to catch another Wolverine.
Right.
And then when he comes back, you see it's him. Now that could be a little foreshadowing, right? Because I mean, he's a little older. You could go younger for a Wolverine, but if someone were to replace the legendary Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, he sure looked good as like Wolverine in that moment.
So is that what the talk is? That there's
No, this is just speculation on my point. Like,
He's gonna play until he's 90, I thought.
it's just-
No, but I'm saying, is the word that there's going to be another Wolverine movie?
I mean, if you're gonna do X-Men and all that stuff, like, I don't think Hugh Jackman is gonna like be around for much more of it. Let's put it like that. So I took like there in the comics there is no Calverine. Like they made that up.
Right.
He's a variant of Wolverine. So
Right.
like when you were going, which that whole scene was pretty cool. Like him going to different Wolverines because they were all comic book accurate. Like you had the joke of the midget Wolverine because Wolverine in real life, like in the comic books, he's 5'3". So they joked on that. That was when he jumps off the stool in the bar.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, you're so cute," you know. That's one. The eye patch Wolverine was a cover of one of the Wolverines where he's in a suit with an eye patch. Then you had the Apocalypse Wolverine where he had like the metal nubbin on one hand. That's the Apocalypse comic book with Wolverine. Then an actual legit cover was when he's strung up on the cross like Jesus. That was an actual cover of one of the X-Men. So like they did all these different things. So I love how they paid homage to that, the yellow suit, which was a little different, but I get why they did it differently than in the cartoons and comics because it's, you know, that's just how they do it now. But yeah, all that was really cool. Did you guys watch the Mission Impossible when Henry Cavill was in there? And he's a famous fight scene with, well, I guess not famous fight, but the fight scene with Tom Cruise in the bathroom, and he goes like this, and then goes to punch Tom Cruise. So he did that as Wolverine. When he came out with the claws, he was like, and then he like punches him through the thing. So there's like so many little Easter eggs throughout this whole movie. There might have been hundreds. There might be some I didn't even catch yet.
Was that the caravan fight?
No, that was when he meets him, like when he comes out like, oh, this guy looks good or whatever. But then they go to another scene, and then when he comes back, and he tells him to get lost, and he extends his claws. He does it like in the Mission Impossible thing, which made him really like. It was a famous talking point when he was doing interviews because they're like, oh, where'd you come up with this move where you threw your hands down to the ground to start the fight? He's like, I don't know, I just improv'd it, I just did it, and it just worked out and they kept it. So he did that for Wolverine, but the difference was then the claws came out. So it looks super, it's like the Mission Impossible fight scene was cool. Now you just made it, and you threw cocaine on it, and he's Wolverine, and the claws are coming out, and then he punches Deadpool with the claws and like stabs him through and like launches him out of the screen. So it was really cool. Wesley Snipes,
Blade, yeah.
crazy. Even though he looks like brittle, and he's only like 62. He looks.
Oh, I thought he looked okay.
No, you gotta see him. No, I mean I don't know.
Human Torch, Christopher Evans.
Oh yeah.
That was wild.
But talking about the previews, right? So I know you had mentioned to me you had to look up and watch the trailer for Captain America.
For what?
Captain America,
Yeah.
right? You had mentioned it to me a week ago or so. Now the preview for Captain America, is that the same as the trailer that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the New
Okay.
World Order. Yeah.
So I mean I'm not huge into these movies and I don't pay too much attention. So what happened to Captain America?
He got old, bro.
But he wasn't in the trailer.
He's not. There's a new Captain America. It's the Falcon is the Captain America now. You'd have to watch
I don't
so
like
many
A lot
movies.
of movies.
So many movies. If you haven't watched any of these movies, which I guess you haven't,
So
you
the
have to
other
watch.
Captain America is gone.
Yeah, I mean he's not. Yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
Like,
He had a good run.
yeah, like you, like I can't even say like.
So is this the way it works? Is it following the comic?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. They skipped a step, but yes.
Okay.
Like ultimately, Captain
So
America.
it's not just that they went this route because Chris Pine decided he wanted to.
No. They so All right, would there be a shortcut for him to figure that out? I guess you'd have
Yeah, I
to.
don't
So
know.
I guess you'd have to watch the 3 Captain America movies.
I mean, I've seen them all, but
Did you see Endgame and Infinity War? Infinity War and Endgame?
yeah, but I mean,
But then, so how do you not know what the fuck's going on? I don't understand.
I don't watch it to, you know.
No, but in
Really
Endgame, because I
follows.
thought I was ruining something for you. In Endgame, he goes back in time to replace the stones, then lives there. So he comes back and he's old, and then he gives the shield.
I didn't remember that.
He
part.
gives the shield to Sam Wilson, who is the Falcon,
Oh, okay.
who was
okay.
with him through, like, you know, I don't want to say 90% of the movies, but he's been with him since Winter Soldier, which was, you know, like 15 years ago, let's say, like movie time. You know, so he's been around, so he gave him the shield. And then him and the Winter Soldier did the TV show on Disney Plus, the Falcon Winter Soldier.
Right.
That's when he really becomes Captain America at the end of that series. It's 6 episodes.
Gotcha.
And then this is the movie after that.
Okay.
You know, did you see the Red Hulk in the trailer?
I did.
Okay, good. All right, good. Good boy. Very good. I guess now that we got off to the trailer, let's get back to the movie.
Yeah.
Anyone else surprised at any other things that happened in the movie? Because there was crap all over the place.
Surprised? Not that I can.
I was disappointed with the freaking bullshit scene at the end that I waited around for.
That was funny, but yes, I agree with you. If I had one knock on the movie besides the cursing thing, which, like I said, I don't really care about, it's not a knock to me, it was the end scene. I thought they would have led you up to something down the line, which would have been nice.
Right.
And then the scene that was, you know, I guess the outtakes or whatever that was playing during when the credits first started, I guess that was just signifying like the end of the Fox stuff.
Well, that, and then when they were in the void, you saw the Fox logo,
Yes, that
like
too, yeah.
in the background, like under the ground, basically.
And then he started the movie where he was bashing Fox.
Yeah, he bashed Fox throughout the whole movie.
Right.
Like, for the most part. There's like 3 or 4 jokes about Fox.
And now, what's the story with that? The first 2 movies were done by
Fox.
20th Century Fox.
Mhm.
And then what? They sold the rights to?
No, Disney bought Fox. So that's why. So, like, you know, that's when they became part of Disney, and that was the whole, like, catch-22. How are you going to make Deadpool movie under Disney? They never had a rated R movie like this.
Okay.
So they made it, and they...
So then, why really the need to bash Fox then?
I don't know, just I guess because he wanted to, maybe?
Okay.
Who knows? Like,
I just assumed that it was something to do where Fox didn't want anything to do with the.
no, they got bought out
Okay.
by Disney.
Well,
I guess they just
well,
could.
I guess too, maybe with like the whole Spider-Man thing too. You know,
Yeah.
like they had, you know, properties for a certain amount of time, but now they don't anymore.
Right. Well, well, did you see the trailer to the 3rd Venom movie?
Yeah. That was probably the one that intrigued me the most.
Yeah. I mean, his trailers look awesome,
I
and then
know.
you watch the movies and you're like,
I know.
I like the first.
Wah,
I like the
wah.
first one, but I didn't see anyone after that.
see, I liked the Venom vs. Carnage better
That's
than
the
the
second-
first one.
that's the
Yeah.
second one. I
But
haven't
it still
seen it.
wasn't good. I just liked it because the CGI effects of Carnage and Venom,
Yeah.
even though it's not the Venom we know because he doesn't have the spider on his chest and all like that, and like
Right.
they
Yeah, it
teased,
didn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
they teased Spider-Man, which is what I really want. Like,
Oh.
this is what you really want. So like, and Sony still owns them, so you're not really gonna get it, right? But they teased him because Spider-Man was so popular with Disney Studios, and they lent him to him
Right.
to make money and this, that, and the other, and they get like a cut of everything and whatever. They teased him. Was it at the end of the second one? I think it was the end of the second one when they're on the beach, because it all had to do with the snap. So then he got sent to another spot, and then he basically went from his world into Spider-Man's world, which is Earth 616.
Right.
Which
That's
is
here.
right. That's here, baby. And then that's how Venom like that. It was exciting because that's how Venom could get the Spidey suit thing, because he'd be Venom of 616 now.
Right.
So he'd fight Spider-Man. He said, "Oh, you know, whatever he said to him when he was watching on TV," and you could get the collab. But now you see this trailer and it looks good. And what's crazy about this trailer, I don't know if they're mirroring the comics, but he said they're coming from my planet. So there's the comic book series is Venom with the symbiotes, and then there's all different like color variations of different kind of like these symbiote aliens, and that was I remember reading that comic. That was really cool, and then he needed Spider-Man's help to fight off them, because it was like instead of, I don't know if you know much about the comics, but they had a Sinister Six for Spider-Man. So it was like Mysterio, the Lizard, like all the bad guys that you've seen so far, Sandman, all these characters. Venom had a symbiote six, which was 6 symbiotes, and they're like yellow, green, blue, like, and they were nasty. And he couldn't fight all 6, so he asked Spider-Man. So the trailer looks cool. I don't think you're gonna see Spider-Man in it. And with their track record, Sony, like their movies are just, like the trailers look good, get you hyped, and then it's just like, it was okay for 2 hours, but like.
They don't have that Disney.
Yeah, but they don't even have that Disney magic either. Like they don't have those good directors or good writers that are actually doing like good stuff with it. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but yeah, I mean I could talk all day about the Deadpool Wolverine. It was great. Let's hope they make more of them. I hope Hugh Jackman looked good to me as Wolverine still.
I thought so, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And did anyone else lose their shit at the end of the movie that he just put the cowl up and now he had the mask on? Like, I lost my shit. I was like, oh my God. I've been waiting forever for this.
The timing of that was good. Yeah.
And then they had the Hulk Wolverine fight he jumps into the middle of, and he had the original suit, the brown and yellow. Oh my God. It was so good.
Detail,
yeah, so good with all that stuff. And one last thing, Channing Tatum as Gambit.
That was fun.
He looked good as Gambit though. You know? The accent was less to be desired. I couldn't understand a word he was saying, but that was a comic book accurate costume.
Yeah.
And I was happy for him because he's been trying to do what Ryan Reynolds did with Deadpool. He's been trying to make a Gambit movie forever, and he keeps getting blocked or like it gets ruined one way or another, but whatever. Yeah, that's all I got for that right now. I mean, I could sure talk about other stuff, but it's only week 1. We'll talk about it more next week when people actually get to see it, if they haven't seen it yet.
Do you want to address the big news at a Comic-Con?
I'll let you say it. I'm not too happy about it.
Oh, okay. Well, how do you feel that it was announced that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Doctor Doom?
He's going to be who?
Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is like Thanos to Fantastic Four.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like Thanos to Avengers. Doom is like Fantastic Four's like major villain, besides Galactus. By the way, did you see that trailer? Fantastic Four? They're doing it in the 60s, which looked a little weird, which they probably should have done in the 80s, but they show you Galactus in it. Like just his eyes, like he looks into a window, like in like New York or whatever, and it's a giant head, which I thought was dope. But anyway, Doom, RDJ as Doom, he played such an iconic character in Iron Man for all these years.
Yeah, it seems like a strange choice to me, but
Me too, because I if I had the time, I could think of other people that could play Doom and it'd be fine.
right.
The problem is I think Disney went to him for the star power,
Right.
because the people they picked for Fantastic Four,
Lesser known.
I don't want to say lesser known, because the one guy is the Mandalorian, who's supposed to be Reed Richards, I think.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, who's
He's kind of a big actor.
Yeah, but I don't really like him for Reed Richards. I don't look at him and be like, yo, he's the smartest guy on the planet type guy. Like the old Fantastic Four with Jessica Alba, like that guy, like I looked at him and was like, yeah, that dude could be the smartest guy in the world. Like he just looked, and the way he acted, like even though they weren't great movies, like he looked like Reed Richards to me, like in the comics. Like this guy doesn't look like Reed Richards to me in the comics. Like part of casting these roles is like they gotta have the look. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't cast me as Reed Richards, but you might cast me if I was in better shape as a Wolverine, because I'm not overly tall, I'm hairy. Like if I was all like built like Hugh Jackman, I might play Wolverine. You wouldn't cast me as Reed Richards. I feel like that's what they did there. And then with the rest of the cast, like Sue Storm is fine. Ben Grimm is okay because he's mostly going to be a rock the whole movie, so who cares? And Johnny Storm, whatever. But I think that's why they added Robert Downey Jr. because maybe people are just going to go see his performance in the movie, and he could be a good villain. But the problem is like he's said all, like the last 20 years, he is Iron Man.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that movie and I'm like, this is Iron Man. Unless they have some crazy twist
The
in
one
it.
who started it
He
all.
started it all, dude. Like, how could you do that? You know?
Well, I mean, I guess part of it is too, maybe he's just not stupid enough to say, let me not walk away from another possible,
Reoccurring role.
right, another mega hit chain of movies that's gonna make me a freaking shit ton of money.
Well, so here's the thing. It might only be one movie. Maybe two. Because when they announced it, and the only reason why I'm not going crazy over this, even though it sounds like I'm going crazy, is the Russo brothers, who are infamous. They did all the Captain America movies, and they did the two Avengers movies, Infinity War and Endgame. And they were phenomenal movies. So I trust them that they'll do a good job with it. I'll trust them with that. But he's not really going to be in Fantastic Four unless he's like an end credit scene. Doom shows up after, because it looks like Galactus is going to be the main villain, which is cool to me because we've never really seen him besides that weird cloud thing that you saw in the Silver Surfer movie with that. Which another thing might be dope is if Galactus is in it, they might be bringing back Silver Surfer, which is cool as well because they're awesome. So Robert Downey Jr. is only going to be in an Avengers Doomsday and then maybe an Avengers Secret Wars, and that's in 2026 and 2027. And he's only in this now because that guy, Jonathan Majors, who is Kang, got all into that trouble. He was supposed to have the first Avengers movie. It was supposed to be called Kang Dynasty. So now they scrapped that. They cut that whole storyline, and now they're switching to Doom. So it might only be two movies. So to come back for two movies, and listen, he's going to get paid handsomely, like he's Iron Man.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
But you could have had that guy from Peaky Blinders that was Scarecrow. Was it
Murphy.
Cillian Murphy? He'd be a great Doom. Like, he's a very serious kind of character. And there's a couple other guys out there that you could have play that role. Why Robert Downey Jr.? If you want the star power so much, bring him back as Iron Man. It's all CGI anyway. Bring him back as Iron Man. And then they're like, oh, he died and this and that. We're in the multiverse right now. You could pull him from another multiverse. And he could put a spin on being like a douchey Iron Man, or like, like the Supreme Iron Man, where he was like kind of like crazy. You could do something like that. But whatever. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'll trust the Russo brothers. They're really good directors. And real quick, anyone see anything else?
No.
I watched the Ghostbusters movie that you told me about.
And?
Yeah, I liked it. It was cool. I probably liked the one before it a little better, but
Afterlife, yeah.
yeah, but
Definitely.
It was entertaining for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I liked it. It was good overall. A movie like that, you're just going for entertainment value. So if you get the entertainment value,
Right.
by now you're all right. You saw all the old characters; they were still back in there, so it was good.
Oh, and I watched a couple episodes of Time Bandits. Not that far into it. Only I think I watched the first two.
Okay, where's that on?
Apple.
Oh, Apple. So they have. So is that another
It's a
time
se-
travel?
It's a series. It was a movie back in the 80s, but it's a series now. It's Taika Waititi and the other guy from What We Do in the Shadows, Jermaine Clement.
Okay.
So yeah, it's I watched the first two, but I'll definitely
Yeah, report back.
report back for sure.
I finished The Bear today. You were spot on. Like, it was Like, I get what they're trying to do there, and I guess because they're having another season, they can afford to do it. I don't know if, like, the other season was already in the works before they did this one. Like, they knew they were going to have at least 4
I would
seasons.
say probably.
I would say so.
Yeah, because, like, that's what it felt like to me. It felt like they wanted you to have more character depth on all these people, and that's what it was more based on as opposed to the restaurant. Like I want to see them fail at the restaurant or succeed at the restaurant. And by the end of the season, you didn't see anything of that.
No.
Like you saw little pieces here and there of them flipping out on each other, but like, and then the one thing I didn't like is like in his head or like throughout the whole thing, like he was seeing like little newspaper clippings about the bear, like the restaurant, and they flashed it so quick I couldn't read the thing. Sometimes it looked bad, sometimes it looked good, sometimes a jumble of both. And at the very end of the last episode, I guess he got the review in, and it looked like it started off good and then it was bad or like mixed like I don't know.
And then it just ends.
And then it just ends, and he's like walking down the block, and I'm like, wait, what? Like almost, if anything, like post a picture of it. Like he kept looking at his phone.
I think at the end it was a bad review, right?
Well,
I don't know because I
you
saw
don't
good
know,
words
'cause
and
all
bad
he does
words.
is he says fuck at the end.
Yeah.
And then where he says, oh fuck.
And not only that, like it said, like oh the bear is a great place, good atmosphere. The thing is brilliant, and then it trails off, and it was like sloppy, or it was like both positive and negative, and I'm like, it was so quick.
It just felt like it was rushed, right? It felt like it was.
Right, maybe that's
Yeah,
what
like-
I'm going for.
I would have done it whereas he's reading the article and you could read along with it, or they highlight it where you could see like,
Yeah, and then don't forget, even before the whole review part, there's the scene with the uncle in the car with whoever that other
yeah, his like
money guy is,
accountant,
The
where
machine.
he says he's basically
the computer. I thought it was.
gotta close down the restaurant because he's
Right.
Hemorrhaging
whatever he
money.
got into,
Right.
he's out of money.
Yeah.
No, he's out of money.
Ooh.
He has no more money at this point. So, you know.
Yeah, they left it, and they said it would be continuing. I guess that's why they left it like that. But now you're telling me we got to wait a whole year to wait to see what the hell this is about. Like, it's annoying. It's annoying at this point. I don't know. But anyway, that's all I got. Wanda, you got any music for us before we
Yeah.
end this thing?
3 picks as usual. First up, we have DJ Muggs and Raz Fresco with The Eternal Now. Second up, Rakim, God's Network Rebirth. Third, Jake One and Freeway with Stimulus Package 2. Those are the 3 picks for this week.
All right. Well, I guess that's all we got for you this week, folks. We'll talk more about some other stuff next week. We'll see how the sports teams are doing, any other crazy stuff that's going on. For now, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your summer. We'll see you soon.
Take care, take care.